You can see the damage from the storm that ripped through Fayetteville, down trees and active power lines still on that wet street. The scene right here on Highway 412 is clear of all police and investigators, but bloodstains still remain on the highway, which tell the story of an early morning accident where a man was hit by several cars. I have KNWA's photographer Eric Fussell with me just to kind of show you the extent of the damage. You can see there are power lines that are completely down from toppled trees. I spoke to state officials, advocates, and entrepreneurs looking to make a pretty penny to get an idea of the impact medical cannabis will have on our state. Springdale School District hopes to hire 8 to 10 new bus drivers by Thanksgiving, so they plan on opening their doors for anyone that's willing to make a difference.
Voting in Benton County has never been easier. It's as simple as casting your votes, printing your ballot, and then making it count.
Freezing cold temperatures have taken over northwest Arkansas, which can pose a problem for first responders like the Rogers Fire Department.
Some parents will say their children are the light of their lives. But what if you were one of the 6 million infertile Americans watching that clock tick? In Crystal and Drew Harper's home, you'll find pictures of the two of them. And for a long time, that's all there was.
As long as I can remember being a kid, I even wanted kids.
Whenever I wasn't getting pregnant and everyone else around us was having kids, it was getting harder and harder.
For 4 years of marriage, the Harpers tried but couldn't conceive.
And you try to be happy for them, and you're like, oh, I'm so happy. And you're like, I'm not happy for you. Why isn't it happening for me?
After trying everything, the couple says in vitro fertilization became the final option.
It is complex, but IVF's been around for 30 years, and it's been gradually refined over the years.
Dr. Dean Modis from Arkansas Fertility and Gynecology works for the only practice in the state that can perform the procedure. Under a microscope, his team will manually fertilize and culture a woman's eggs with her partner's sperm before implanting them back into the uterus.
But that is the final solution for these patients who have failed other treatment or who have uncorrectable problems that cannot be solved by other means.
For the Harpers, that also meant 4 and sometimes 5 shots a day to get the outcome they always wanted.
For over a year, Crystal Harper saved every single syringe and vial so she could remember what it took to create her angel, a newborn son, Wesley.
If you have a fear of needles like I do, you need to hope that you're with somebody who'll do them for you.
I did them all.
Yeah, he did all of them. I didn't do a single one.
But it wasn't just syringes piling up, so did the bills. Arkansas is one of 15 states in the country that has passed laws requiring insurers to either cover or offer coverage for infertility diagnosis and treatment. But insurance won't cover everything. So when it came to the actual procedure, medications, and travel expenses, the Harpers ended up $22,000 in the hole.
I got a credit card offer for 0% interest for 21 months. So I just put everything on that.
Dr. Modis says it costs around $13,000 per cycle. When you factor in medications, expect to dish out around $17 grand. And the procedures may not even take the first time around.
Far and away, the biggest limiting factor is the finances.
Even with collectors knocking, the Harpers remain adamant. Their bundle of joy is worth every penny, and they can't wait until they get another voicemail with the good news.
Hi, Crystal. It's Marcy calling from Dr. Brayback's office, and I have good news. Congratulations. Your level is positive, and it's an awesome...
It's emotional again. Good grief. I'm hoping I get another voicemail like that again one day. I just hope people that are going through this journey to know, like, it can happen, and if it's meant to happen this way, it'll happen this way, and there's other options too.
Pea Ridge police officer Mike Lira and I decided to see the heat's effects on the human body with our own experiment. After hooking up to medical gauges to monitor vitals like blood pressure and heart rate, we climbed in a car donated from Irwin's Wrecker Service and let Mother Nature do the rest.
This is an oven. This is truly an oven.
By the second, the temperature rises.
If you parked in the sun, let's say, and you have a child back there, that child's going to be experiencing 155 degrees.
8 minutes in, my shirt is fully drenched, my arms soaking, water is pouring off my face.
I'm feeling a little bit of tingling. I noticed my whole body is sweating.
We sat it out and watched as it climbed to more than 170 degrees. 171.
This is lethal temperature right now.
As the sweat pours, we consider the little ones who can't escape a hot car on their own.
It's a shame, and I really want to make sure that nobody, especially in the immediate area of Pea Ridge, nobody in the county, nobody in the state of Arkansas experiences this, where they lose a child senselessly.
After 15 minutes, our bodies scream, it's time to get out.
I can feel my heart beating a little harder through my chest because it's struggling right now. It's almost like going on a bike ride for, in 90-degree weather. Your body is not liking it, and this body is not liking this right now, so we're going to get out.
We received water and immediate medical attention, but we were already feeling the effects.
Well, I'll tell you what, I got out of the car and I was feeling a little lightheaded. I really was. I didn't realize until I stood up, but I think we got out in just the nick of time, to be honest.
I know it was an experiment, but we were actually watching you to make sure nothing serious did happen, and we're ready to react if we had to.
We may have jumped out at the right time, but the experiment serves as a harsh wake-up call for parents. No one ever wants to call 911 to report a trapped child.
They're going to get beat red, their heart rates are going to be really high, and they're going to really try to get rid of all that heat that they have on them, and they just won't be able to tolerate it very long.
In the event of an emergency, if a first responder needs to save someone trapped inside a car, they'll need to take matters into their own hands.
Officer Lira suggests tying a string to your door or setting reminders in your phone, whatever it takes to make sure you don't leave your loved ones behind.
She had 16 stab wounds and 11 defensive wounds. It was brutal. There's no reason I can see at all why he needs to be walking.
For 40 years, Les King says he found comfort knowing his sister's killer was behind bars.
My biggest question through the whole thing was why? And it's been 39 years, and I still don't know why.
James Van Cleve was convicted of capital murder back in 1978. 23-year-old Deborah King was found with multiple stab wounds at a store in Springdale. To this day, he claims he didn't do it.
In all actuality, I didn't actually commit the crime. I was a lookout, and everybody thinks I did, but I didn't.
Van Cleve served the time he was sentenced, but fought for his right to freedom the entire way. Handwritten letters from prison to the Washington County courts depicts a man defending himself and his hope for parole. Finally, it was granted.
I always had faith in God that one day he would open the gates and let me out, and I tried to do the best I could while I was in prison.
A retroactive law signed into place in 2017 makes juveniles eligible for parole if they weren't before. 16 years old at the time, Van Cleve fit the bill.
The Supreme Court spoken. We've got to respect that. So the majority of people may agree with me. They may not. It doesn't matter. We've got to respect the decision and move on and operate accordingly.
People that commit crimes as a juvenile, they really don't understand what they're doing.
But for the last remaining King, he says he can't make sense of it all.
39 years ago, I was promised but he'd never see the light of day.
With the new unmanned aircraft curriculum at UAFS, students get a chance to hit the ground running in industries like agriculture, mining, and utilities. Not to mention, they get a new perspective of the world. Starting small, Sam Walton opened up a 5 and dime store on the Bentonville Square, which still stands to this day. The Beaver family was hit by flood after flood. They've had 8 over the past 10 years, and that's what's caused this major ravine on their property.